I'm going to break it down. I'm going to get real personal with you guys. I hope you're sitting down. Because I'm going to let you in on a little bit of me. I don't tell people a lot of my stuff because it's none of their damn business. And the more people you tell what you got going on, the more problems will get involved, right? So around this time of year, I always get, pretty sensitive, kind of get in my head a little bit, because August the 18th, that was my mom's birthday. And then, coming up December 5th is when, my pops took his life back in 2018. And his birthday was also like, I don't even remember anymore. It was in December as well. So the point I'm trying to make is that it is possible. You stick around for this whole video. Hopefully you get something out of it. Everybody has problems. I'm not trying to one up anyone and be like, ooh, boo hoo, boo hoo. But everybody has problems. I have a guy training in South Africa that just got elected to work. They don't just get to go to work and have a job. They have to be selected by an individual to pick them to come work on a contract for 2 years. So I'm not on here trying to cry and whine about my past, but it's the point that it's possible. Okay. I grew up without a mom, 1 in a million chance she passed right after I was born. Okay. Doctors didn't know what the fuck happened. Alls I know is that she passed shortly after I came out due to the way things work with pregnancy. Instead of releasing all of the chemicals and, all the toxins, it like reversed and went back into her bloodstream and then poisoned her. So doctors were like, what the heck? Everybody was all like, what the heck? So that's where it started for me. And then, just a crap relationship with my father. It was very physical and aggressive. And then finally I split and lived with just him. I lived with him, his girlfriend, and my little brother at the time for a while. Bounced around between Missouri, Oklahoma, up north, South Central. So I've been around, moved all my life. And, then I started getting into drugs and following the path of depression and being a menace to society and not making myself worth anything and just falling down the rabbit hole. You got 1 or 2 paths. You're like straight A books, or, you going doing drugs and going to jail. Well, I went down the wrong path because I didn't know how to deal with anything. I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have any structure. I did get taught discipline. That was about the best thing that I could think from my father. But other than that, it was a bumpy start. I was in and out of, juvenile papers, having cases in and out of the law, I guess is what I like to say. And then it just progressed as I got older. And then, I just got worse, came to bring some near deaths, overdoses, suicide, things like that. And through all of that, I met the woman of my dreams. I put her through insanity, but she's still here. So if you find a real one, fellas, stick to it. Don't be a jackass. But, so much happened in so little time that made me realize everything. Like I had small realizations each year that were huge in the long run. Then I decided, because there's a point where me and her, we split for about 5 months, just because how bad it got, and at that point, that's when I went into the military and decided to go into the Navy because I have hand tattoos. The Marines were like, "No, get out of here, bro." And I was like, "All right." So went to the Navy. Was gonna start headed for the direction of Special Forces. She came back. Realized that I was going to be gone for about 2 years right after I left the house, and she didn't want that. So I went to like the next best thing to be a CB, which is like the construction fighters of the Navy. I was active duty for about 2 years, and then there was just too much at the house, and it wasn't where I wanted to be. So then I left. Got honorably discharged, and during that period, I started diving into my fitness because, like, I looked in the mirror one day. I was just a fat POS. This was back in 2021, so really only 3 years ago. I looked in the mirror and I was like, "You're a fat piece of crap. Like, what? What are you doing? Playing video games all day. Not controlling your diet, just eating what you want, and then not working out at all." So, then I kicked myself in gear, started getting on my diet, started getting on training, stopped with the video games, man. I haven't even picked up a controller in like a year. Um, and then I found my coach. I was just scrolling on TikTok and his video popped up and I was like, dang, that guy's jacked. I should probably do something. I had the money. I was in the military. It was not bad, right? And that was the first time that I invested in me and invested in myself to make myself better. Because anytime before I invested in myself to make myself worse, but I thought I was making myself better because of the delusion of what I was going through mentally. And I met him. I put down the down payment to start the coaching process. And I was like, man, I just gave this stranger $350 and he says he's going to change my life. What a load of crap. But I stuck to it, embraced the suck, got out of the military, got a job, and was still trying to find my entrepreneurial spirit because I always grew up believing that seeing my dad go to the factory and work in a steel factory, come home, tap him on the shoulder for a hug, he'd go to bed, and then I might see him at dinner, or I'll probably see him tomorrow. Like seeing that, I knew I was like, there's no way that's a way to live. That it just can't possibly be correct. Like, he's not happy. He doesn't do anything. We don't do anything. We don't ever go out. We don't ever go vacations. Vacations? It's like, no, that's not the thing. And I always thought, I was like, it's not about like, oh yeah, I want to go to Bali. I want to go to China. I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to Europe. It's not, no, it's like, I just went to live. And the biggest thing, I felt like I survived most of my life and I watched my dad survive. But then on the other hand, I saw my grandpa and he did fairly well. He started, in a factory at the low guy, made his way all the way up to six figures at the very end. So it was like I seen the rich dad, poor dad life. Read that book, Robert Kawasaki or something like that. I don't know. I chopped his name up. Read that book. It's a great one. But anyways, I feel like I experienced that a little bit living both lifestyles. I saw my grandparents every other weekend. I was with my dad throughout the week. And, through that, I feel I was just learning nothing, because I was getting told this from this person who was doing well. And I was like, you're just my grandpa, piss off. Then I was getting this from this person, my dad, that was crap. And he was, just living. And I was like, oh, well, you punched me in the fucking mouth for getting a D. Why am I going to listen to you? No. So I was at this very medium and I had to learn how to grow up quick and grow up fast and get things running. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm very grateful for my past, even though I don't agree with it. And I think it's unfair sometimes. And the fact that like my parents don't get to see their grandparents or my parents don't get to see their grandkids and experience that. Um, you know that, yeah. But all the moral of all of this is just informing you that patience is power and pressure gives you perseverance. Because diamonds form under pressure. They got to be packed under pressure for many, 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 many years before they shift into their new form, right? Um, and so I went from this broken, battered kid, okay, no direction, no guidance in life, turned to drugs to seek guidance and help and escape. Then it just got worse, so it got worse, so I relied on the drugs. So then it was just terrible. And now, like, that's all I think about. I wake up, how am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? And then went to the military, complete 370 degrees. I had an extra 10. And then did that stint, and then found out what my purpose would be. My purpose is bodybuilding. I just feel like I was meant for this. And if I didn't have bodybuilding, I wouldn't have anything, because once I found bodybuilding carried into every aspect of my life. It wasn't just in the gym. So then I started bodybuilding. Then I started learning sales, and because the world is sales, and so I learned that to try to do that, because I was like, well, bodybuilding is going to be expensive. I'm going to need a job to pay for the expensive. Sales is the only real job where it's not a 9 to 5, and I can actually make the money to support my dream. That's all it was. So through that, I bounced through a few jobs trying to figure out which one's going to stick to help me actually get to where I got to go. And none of them did, because they're all crap. Whether toxic environment, getting removed because of complaints, and when you're doing really well, things like that, or just the simple fact that I am giving my time, my energy, and my life to somebody else who does not at all give a rat's crap about what I'm trying to do in life. Okay? Oh, it's a family environment. We love you. Come. No, bro. You're lying. So then through all of that, it led me, I left the 9 to 5, then I went back to the 9 to 5, then I left the 9 to 5, and then I went back, and then I left. And the last time that I left, I saw what I needed to see to what it was actually going to take to get to where I have to go. Because I worked firsthand with the business owner and saw what I didn't want to become like. Because it was too much. It was too much. It was scatterbrained. There's so much going on over here. There's too much going on over here. There's no direction here. There's no guidance. There's absolutely no communication. But it was communication. It was a mess. So through that, I was losing my mind. I was like, no, this isn't right. I still have no support, and the cash is mediocre. So I was like, let's go back to a 9 to 5. I got blessed with a super, super genuine opportunity to work at one of my local gyms and be part of the community. And through that, I humbled myself to take a huge pay cut, because, I was on track to making $100K a year, 100 plus easily with sales and any sales job that I had. And then I was like, no, let's go all the way down to $14 an hour. Guess what? With that shrink, I bought my time back. So now I only have to work a couple days at my local gym, and any other time frame I get to be spending with my family, or putting into my business, or putting into my training in my body to get to where I'm going to go. Because I've never felt like I've ever had a purpose or a vision or a destination or anything in life. I thought I was going to die by the time I turned 18. When my 19th birthday came around, I was shocked. I woke up. I woke up and I was like, coffee. I woke up and I went half the day. You know, I didn't get no happy birthday messages, no none of that crap. I went half the day and I looked and I was like, oh shit, I'm 19. What the heck? I made it. What? I'm alive today. Like I genuinely grew up. Once how far I was with drugs, I genuinely thought that I was not going to make it to 18. You know. So that's a little bit about me, guys. It's enough for now. If you're enjoying the content and you're enjoying what I do and you want to be part of the community, click like, follow, share, comment, tell me to piss off. Doesn't matter. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed.